One thing that truly bothers me in the NBA is players, not really players, maybe teams not reaching their full potentials. All too often we see teams with tons and tons of talent not play up to the standard that is put before them. Sometimes it's the players, sometimes it's the coaches, sometimes it's a mix. We saw what happened out in Los Angeles last season. There was no excuse for that. This team had so much talent, I don't even want to talk about it. It's really hard to come to a conclusion this early in an NBA season for any team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what happens right now doesn't matter, but I will tell you what happens right now could have long-term ramifications. You always want to have a solid foundation, and you want to build off of that foundation. The Washington Wizards started the season 0-4. Does that mean they're going to go 0-82? No, it doesn't. But if the Washington Wizards don't fix some of the problems that this team has right now, this is a team that could be in for a very, very long season. And I think that would be unfortunate because when I look at the roster of the Washington Wizards, I see nothing but talent. But when I look at the on-court product, I'm just not seeing the production. Before we go any further, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You will not want to miss another Get Like Coop video. And that's facts. If you guys enjoy my content, the chances are you'll probably enjoy my streams. The link to my stream is going to be in the description below. In that same description, you'll also find the link to my football channel and also my Twitter. For those of you that want to end up in my videos, following me on Twitter is going to be a great way to do that. I'm going to discuss some of your takes from Twitter in my videos. I think it's going to be fun. Russell Westbrook, one of the most dynamic players in today's NBA. At 32 years old, I still fully believe Russell Westbrook is one of the best point guards in the league. He's somebody that you want on your side when it comes to competing. I don't think I've ever seen Russell Westbrook flat out give up, blowout or not. And hey, we all know we've seen a lot of blowouts early this season. I want to call what's going on with the Washington Wizards right now an outlier, but man, I'm just not sure it is. But of course, I'm going to give this talented roster the benefit of the doubt. In the comments below, I want to know what you guys think the problem with the Washington Wizards is. Off rip, I already know some people are going to say Russell Westbrook. And off rip, that's going to tell me that they already have this negative idea about Westbrook in their head and that they just haven't been watching Washington Wizards games. Because while Westbrook hasn't been perfect, he's far from the problem out in Washington. This guy's already putting up 19 points per game, 14 boards per game, and 13 assists. Westbrook wanted to go back to his OKC ways, back to putting up big stats, but also winning basketball games. What better way to do that than teaming up with his old coach, Scott Brooks? Now, I'm not a major Scott Brooks fan or really a Scott Brooks hater, but in my time watching the Washington Wizards this season, I have to say he's made some very questionable decisions. Decisions that remind me of some of the things he did back in OKC. First things first, the Washington Wizards have consistently been terrible on the defensive side of the basketball. Last season, this team had a defensive rating of 114.7. That's 0.1 from being the absolute worst defensive team in the NBA. This season, things haven't gotten much better. This season, the Washington Wizards are currently in the bottom 10 of defensive rating. That's a place you really don't want to be unless you have some absolutely unreal, mind-blowing offense, which unfortunately, the Washington Wizards do not. For me, it feels like the Washington Wizards offense lacks a lot of creativity. It's very reliant on a lot of individual brilliance. You know what? That takes us back to Scott Brooks' time in OKC. You know what? I'm going to chill, man. No, I'm not. This team's lineups have been absolutely horrific. How bad have the Wizards lineups been? This is a team that, for whatever reason, has loved to trot out 3 point guards, none of which are good on-ball defenders. This makes life incredibly hard for Washington's paint defenders. Thomas Bryant, Robin Lopez. Look, hey, I'm sorry, homies. For everybody that wants to come out and blame Russell Westbrook, I have a very simple stat for you. And I know plus minus isn't the tell-all of NBA analytics and stats and whatever. It can be very telling at the same time. Game 1, Westbrook was a plus 10. When he was out the game, the Wizards were a minus 16. Game 2, plus 2. When he was out the game, minus 12. Game 3, he didn't play. They lost by 7 points. Game 4. So every game Russell Westbrook has played in, the Washington Wizards have been outscoring their opponents when he's on the floor. Russ isn't some phenomenal defender at this stage of his career, but when he locks in, he can lock up. And when he's on the floor, he's making plays. Bro, Beal had 39 this season. Westbrook came out with 15, 12, and 15. And the Wizards still managed to lose this game. Shout out to the Orlando Magic, though. This is a team playing phenomenal basketball. Markelle Fultz is looking like a new player. Breakdown coming soon. I understand why Philly traded Fultz, but I can't believe they traded him for what they did. So beyond watching games, I did a lot of digging to find out why the Wizards were truly losing. Get some outside opinions. I think that's always something, that you should want. And I came across this awesome site, bulletsforever.com. I strongly advise you guys to check it out, especially if you're a Wizards fan. Referencing the Bulls versus Wizards game, which was like the last straw for a lot of people because the Bulls are not a great team right there. I think they'll end up being great, but they're not great right now. Anyways, referencing that game, Bullets Forever wrote that Beal and Westbrook combined to shoot 9 of 19 on 2-point jumpers, a 47% shot, 0.95 points per shot. On all other field goal attempts, the team had an effective field goal percentage of 50, 1.02 points per shot. A small difference, but one that adds up over the course of a game and a season. Bullets Forever feels that the team takes too many early shot clock mid-range jumpers. This is sort of a narrative that has surrounded Westbrook his entire career. Now, I'm not co-signing it, I'm asking you guys. Do you think this is going to be a deal for the Washington Wizards? Personally, when I see Westbrook, I say play like OKC. I understand his game and I understand that him taking those shots is going to make the team better. If you have to respect that shot from Russell Westbrook, the driving and passing lanes are going to open up all the more. Westbrook knocking down mid-range shots helps open up the three-point line for other shooters. Speaking of shooters, if you can't defend in today's NBA and you're a role player, I'm not sure I want you on my team. Bertans rotates too aggressively on this play, gives up a wide open skip. They knock down the jumper. But of course, Bertans comes down on the other end and does this. Now, of course, Bertans wasn't who I was referencing when I said this, but in today's NBA, if you can't defend, I'm not sure I want you because teams will play you off the court, no problem. The Wizards have a big problem. Their best wing defender can't be Deni. He's going to do this a lot and he's going to grow as the season progresses. He's going to have a phenomenal career, but the Wizards need more on the defensive side of the ball. Last season, Bleacher Report posted an article exposing the worst defenders in the NBA. I'm gonna just let y'all see it and y'all can tell me what you guys think. Ultimately, I think the Wizards are going to get it together. Rue is going to be big for them, but these losses can't pile up. Westbrook and Beal, they want to win. We saw Beal be so frustrated, he skipped talking to the media, not something Beal typically does. We saw Westbrook come out and say, it's a tough time, we got to figure it out. But he also showed accountability and said, you have to lead when things are going well and also poorly. Tagged his whole team in a social media post and pretty much said times like this can show your true character. I'm already loving what I'm seeing from Westbrook when it comes to leading this team. Crazy how my man was scapegoated in Houston. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support this channel. I'm Get Like Coop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.